I told you guys I had one of these. No, I'm not using it because like I'm worried about waves or MK Ultra activating me or things reading my mind. I actually only wear it for when the Palladians are streaming Green Acres reruns, and I get much better reception with this on. But I do a lot of things on carburetors and points distributors and whatnot, and every time we do it in the comments, you guys are, so many of you are like, but at least he'll survive an EMP attack. You know, he'll keep rolling after the EMPs hit us. And I don't think that's going to happen either. You know, it's like, that's, you know, wacky. I don't think anybody's going to EMP us. But one thing is for absolutely certain, and that's eventually a solar flare is going to get us. Something similar to the Carrington event of 1859, where this thing, there was a solar storm that was so strong that it set fire to the telegraph lines that ran alongside the railroads all across the country. Something like that hits, anything electronic is done. It's toast, it stops moving. So, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't take stuff like that into consideration on my own fleet. You know, that's why everything has got a carburetor. That's not why everything has a carburetor and everything has points, but it certainly doesn't hurt. So, given the fact that, you know, we're in a very strange situation today, and this is uncharted territory, and there's a really good chance that by the time the smoke clears, the entire world economy is going to collapse and we go totally Mad Max. To talk about prepper type of stuff, or, you know, what kind of vehicle, you know, to make it beyond Thunderdome, right? What's going to do it? So, real quick, right? And I want to hit on something that nobody ever talks about, but it's key to this. So first off, a lot of guys say, you know, diesel is the way to go. And a mechanical diesel, you know, a mechanically operated diesel, you know, in other words, like no electronic interfaces anywhere in the system, with a manual transmission is probably the ultimate survival vehicle with one definite problem. Fuel. You know, where are you going to get diesel? All right, yes, it'll run on vegetable oil, but you'd have to squeeze corn for a week to get to the end of your driveway. Not really practical. Gasoline, on the other hand, when everything goes down, every single car on the road becomes a little miniature gas station. It's a gasoline storage facility. Modern cars with their sealed fuel systems, well, the air can't get in there and the gasoline can't evaporate. And while the gas is only like really good for about 3 or 4 months before it starts to become kind of stale, it'll be viable for at least 2 years. So anybody with a screwdriver and a hammer and a catch can has got like an unlimited supply of free gasoline. And if you happen to be in a place where there aren't a bunch of cars that you can, you know, pilfer gasoline out of, you can run, if you can set up a still, you can run a carbureted car on moonshine. You'd have to take the jets out, drill them to twice their normal size, because it takes 2.2 amounts of alcohol to equal the same amount of gasoline. And the stuff will get you on down the road. Not very well, but it'll get you down the road. But the other thing is distributors or ignition systems. So ideally a magneto is the way to go, because a magneto operates completely independently. In the event of an EMP or a solar flare where everything goes kaput at once, a points distributor will definitely function, and a standard coil will get through, you know, unharmed. And lead acid batteries are okay too, but you know, the lead acid battery, they have a shelf life. You don't really want to count on a battery so much. I would definitely choose a manual transmission for the push start ability of it all. But while the ignition system is going to work, the points are going to work, the coil is going to work, the spark plugs are going to fire, and everything's going to be fine. What about keeping the fire lit? You need an alternator. Well, here's something you really have to take into consideration. Any alternator with an internal regulator, or any alternator with an external regulator, but a solid state or electronic regulator, the regulator isn't going to work. That thing's over. If you're setting up a prepper bug out, you know, shit hits the fan vehicle, you need a points style regulator, and you need an alternator that you can wire into that regulator. So you're looking at stuff that was built previous to the 1970s, really, for you know, to get along, you know, along. These are the ones that Chrysler used up until 1969. Now, if you're going to buy one of these things on the you know, new reproduction, you got to be careful, because they may look like a points regulator, but if you pop the top off, they're actually electronic. It's just a, you know, a faux points regulator. So you want to make sure that you've got an actual points regulator, and you know how to wire it into you have an alternator that you can wire it into to, you know, maintain the charge of your battery. Otherwise, you know, you're going to go right down the road and that's it. She's dead. So that's it. Mr. Haney is telling me it's time to kill the Decepticons. I'll see you tomorrow.